Hi, welcome back to Daily Flash. Homeowners and buyers are scrambling to find and sell homes after a flurry of lawsuits against online realtor Zillow. So what is really at stake here? Here to talk more about it is Jeremy Knauff. He's a real estate professional and founder of Spartan Media. Jeremy, thanks so much for joining us. For consumers who use sites like Zillow and Redfin, why are exclusive listings upending their platforms?
Well, thanks for having me, Andrea. I would argue actually that it's not, right? People kind of look at Zillow from the wrong perspective. There's always been exclusive listings, and you've got agents who have the experience and they've got the connections and the marketing channels to get those listings in front of people. And today is no different, right? That's always been the case, and that's always going to be the case. Zillow is just another channel in the kind of real estate ecosystem.
How do these upcoming changes for the real estate market and for everyday buyers affect how we shop online for homes?
Well, I think it highlights the importance of working with an experienced professional, someone who's got both the connections and the network as well as experience marketing. So if you think about it from the perspective of they get a listing, they want to get it in front of the right people. Or if they've got a buyer who's looking for a particular type of home, they've got access to these other listings. Of course, you've got Zillow and Redfin and the MLS and all of these systems that people have access to, but an experienced agent has access to these exclusive listings, and they can tap into those through their connections or through their marketing channels. And, I don't really see it as any different. It's just different from the perspective of people who don't have that level of experience in the real estate industry. So they see things changing, but they don't realize that it's really not that much different than it's ever been.
I want to get your take on this because this is kind of interesting. Some of these moves by Zillow have drawn the attention of the FTC with an antitrust complaint. How does this impact Zillow and, in your opinion, the overall industry?
Yeah, that's a great question. And Zillow is definitely facing a lot of scrutiny. They're dealing with a number of PR crises right now. And there's been talk about this merger with Compass. If they do end up doing that, that's going to put even more scrutiny on them. That Compass Anywhere real estate merger was about $1.6 billion. So that's definitely going to get the FTC very interested in anything connected to Compass. And we've also got the 2026 midterm elections coming up. The existing politicians who are running for reelection or the new ones who are running for office are very likely to jump on that as kind of low-hanging fruit, both from the perspective of housing affordability and from the perspective of data privacy, because the reality is Zillow is a data company. They're not actually a real estate company. So that will very likely draw a lot of additional scrutiny, which is going to steer the direction of some of the decisions that Zillow makes. Now, despite the flaws that they may have, Zillow, losing Zillow or Zillow drastically changing their model would negatively impact both home buyers and home sellers.
How much trust, one final question for you here, how much trust should consumers put into these online real estate sites? Because oftentimes they conflate value, which changes the game.
Yeah, that's a great question. And I kind of look at it as trust but verify.
Yeah.
Zillow is just one channel, and they've got their Zestimate, which was kind of their claim to fame when they came out in, I think it was 2006. But everybody loved the Zestimate because it presented it in a way that really benefited the home owner, right? The prices were typically inflated. But what happened was when people started going to market and they realized that buyers weren't actually willing to pay those prices, then there was a problem. Then they lost a lot of trust in the market. So use Zillow, but don't overly rely on the price that the Zestimate is telling you the home is worth.
Jeremy, thank you. Great insight. We're going to post this interview on our website, dailyflashshow.com.